Welcome back, and also welcome to the final component of the Pioneer Trail, dealing with the challenges, renewal, tools, and summary. The challenges faced by early pioneers could mean life or death, either for themselves or to the journey itself. Equally so, the challenges faced by the educational technology pioneer may not be life or death, but they may stop an initiative that the school would really like to follow through on. Spector 2001 did some research and came up with the big lessons that we should have learned, and I've included those lessons here for you. This is the third page dedicated to the project that I implemented as part of the literature review and the project proposal I created for eTech 500. So again, to illustrate the impact of my learning in MET, the application of that learning, and the fact that the learning has been generalized into my work environment. Again, the challenges around this project are itemized here for you, and the most significant challenge has been the utilization of technology as an intervention in the classroom, as not the fault of teachers themselves in some cases, but in the infrastructure in our buildings, that we were not able to have the technology placed in the classroom. So that became a major challenge. There's some actual data here from Lexia reading program showing that the time on task is still an issue, and the team believes that it's because the technology is not readily accessible and the students have to leave the classroom with supervision to go to the computer lab, and that doesn't always prove beneficial that it's going to happen. Another challenge is that the infrastructure in our schools didn't allow for the technology to be used in the classroom, which was another reason it had to be located outside the classroom. Reflections. As we reflect on our successes and challenges this year, we have developed some strategies for effective collaboration. And I highlighted that because collaboration is indeed number one. And while we're collaborating on the effectiveness of the project that we have in place, that collaboration is, in effect, reflection. And reflection is proven to be a very key component in the work, in this constructivist work that we are undertaking. For each child to succeed, everyone in the school has to do whatever it takes to connect at every opportunity, to share their strengths, and to get supports for challenges. We must seek that collaboration. Unless the school team schedules meetings to gather, connect, review, celebrate, and build collaboratively on individual or small team actions, the impact to student learning will be limited. So becoming a true learning community. Again, no regrets, except for the computers, except for the fact that the computers didn't become operational in classrooms. As stated above, the project has been working very well, and we're looking forward to it being even better next school year. As Margaret Wheatley writes, measures are meaningful and important only when generated by those doing the work. So we really need the educators themselves to be involved in this particular project around primary reading. When schools or district teams share their learning, as they are learning, progress is accelerated. And what I've done here is I've made a link directly to the SD68 Working Together wiki, which you could access. And this wiki is the place where we have compiled our learning and key learning tools. Next steps: to meaningfully engage all educators and to further in-service educators. eTech 512, an extension of that course, is on the safe, the ethical, and the legal. And the safe is a connection to the BC Ministry of Education Safe, Caring, and Orderly Schools, an extension of learning in eTech Master's program, or the MET program, is the need to put technology into the hands of students to keep them safe. And we created this web app, which was also available for students on their mobile devices. And it was an application that we created here in the school district, and I was part of a 5 or 6 member team that created it. And we put it together so that our students would be safe from bullying or have an avenue to report bullying, and also have an avenue to gain access to community resources when school was not in session. And this since has been replaced by the Ministry of Education's Erase program. Ethical, it's everyone's responsibility, and we touched on ethics in terms of whose responsibility it is, and our direct teaching of children around ethical and legal use of online and their online behavior. Artifacts, here's a lesson plan on plagiarism for grades 9 to 12, and it's our responsibility as educators to directly and explicitly teach the desired behavior. Again, focused on NETS, the National Education Teacher Standards. Reflecting toward the future is that I want to continue to use my knowledge of subject matter teaching and learning in order to facilitate experiences that advance student learning, creativity, and innovation in both face-to-face and virtual environments. And again, I've used NETS Teacher all the way through to guide me in this work, and that I want to continue working on these goals. And I've made a connection to NETS here. From my personal experience in doing this work, I, more now than ever, realize the implementation of technology into educational practice is a journey. It's not a destination. Implementation takes time. You make a move with your staff, and then the technology changes, and you must work to keep up. We must accept this. The consequences of not keeping up may result in students who have become disenfranchised because our technology is out of date, or our lessons are not engaging, or our delivery is found wanting. This course has taught me that I must stay current. I will continue to accept sessional courses at teaching at the university, and I will continue to develop online teaching, and I will continue to work in the field and keep my skills strong. Learning experiences, ETech 531. There's a piece of work here that I adapted from the York Regional School District. The pioneers and Aboriginal peoples had conflicting plans about the use of land. The pioneers believed that they had the right to own the land and change it by clearing the forest for their settlements and buildings. The Aboriginal peoples believed that the land was there for everyone to use and share. The lesson learned is that the early pioneers learned many important things from the Aboriginal peoples, the people who were already here. The Aboriginal people taught the pioneers much about farming and planting crops, medicinal use of local plants, which local berries and animals were good for eating and clothing, and which trails were used to traverse the land. The point is that it is very important to learn from those who have already begun the initiatives, and the credit must be given to those who came before us and started the learning journey. Below here I have attached 2 multimedia presentations that I created. The first one is about cyberculture, and I've also added my professor's response to my learning, and that this was profound learning, and I really enjoyed putting this multimedia presentation together. The second is around mitigating cyberbullying, which had direct generalizability to my world of work, and again, I've added my professor's response to my work here. I thoroughly enjoyed working on these multimedia presentations. I learned a great deal in seeking out the various software and various items to be included to get my message across. I learned that the short video clip that you see above here are nicely polished. I've had many, many hours put into creating them. I see that having students create short videos can demonstrate their learning in an excellent constructivist learning activity. I realized that I need to continue to hone the skills that I began to develop in this course, as if these skills are not used on a regular basis, they could become rusty in a very short period of time. Murphy and Potts, 2003, taught me through a discussion on cybernetics that the most essential characteristic is the interactions that come from feedback, and that is so important. Murphy and Potts also stated that technological determinism poses a great danger to our way of life and to our ability to think. While technology should signify the rational process by which challenges encountered by human activity are remedied, it is rare that those who embed technology into human activity engage in the rational process of analyzing its consequences. Speaks specifically to reflection. I've also added the importance and significance of copyright in new media studies, and I've attached those here. I found this course very interesting, and the reading materials package was very user-friendly. I have extended this learning to other aspects of my work life. I've created multimedia presentations to educate my staff about various protocols in the district. I have even created a few presentations for staff retirements. Those were more along the fun lines. I certainly see the power behind such presentation. However, the amount of time put into creating such a presentation is lost on the viewer. The concept of using video in the classroom to make a shift in the dispenser of knowledge is well articulated in the flipped classroom. I want to learn more about this, and this site has helped me a great deal, and you can click there. Renewal. What did the early pioneers do to find rest? They would, play music, play cards, chit-chat. They would tell stories. Children would ride sometimes in the wagons, and they came out and played things like tag or jump rope. There were families would sometimes travel with their pets, usually dogs, and they would play with them. Even at the end of the day, there were lots of chores to do: washing, mending, cooking, food gathering, and tending to the livestock. It was very tedious and exhausting and not much fun at all, but therefore it was important to find ways to find renewal. What do I do to find rest? eTech 531. I created this multimedia presentation as a way to show you what I do to find renewal. In addition, I have a clear philosophy and direction, which also provides something to reflect upon in those times of renewal and rejuvenation. So this was an assignment that we needed to do. It was a trial assignment called I Am an Artist, and I did it for real, and it shows you how I find renewal. I also found this YouTube around being part of a virtual choir, and I just thought it was absolutely amazing, so I put it here for your viewing pleasure. Under renewal, I also have put my philosophy, as I mentioned in the previous tab, and Kaplan 2004, the philosophy of technology pertains to how human knowledge, activities, societies, and environments are impacted by technology. I have thoroughly discussed my philosophy of technology with you, and made some direct connections to the readings in the course, so that you can see that I have applied the research to my learning. I've also added some supporting documents. Finally, the tools that I carry forward with me are the tools that I have selected to accompany me on this journey. They're the ones that I've used to create various assignments in my MET journey, and they're certainly the ones that I will use as I continue my teaching and learning, and I'm sure that I will be adding to this long list of tools. I have written a summary of my experience in the MET program and how wonderful that journey has been, and I have attached it here for your reading pleasure. At this point, you have the option of going directly to the rubric, which is here, and again, you can provide some feedback to me about that rubric. Also, you'll notice that references are located here, and there is a long list of references, and also I've itemized out specifically and separately the references for the images used in this e-portfolio. That's the conclusion of the Pioneer Trail. Thank you.